Oh, what is this? What is this? Right? Oh, who knew? It's just a little kid, right? It's just meditation for children. Wow! Look at this little baby Buddha just blasting with baby Buddha. Who knew? Who knew? Look. Wow. It's just, wow. Fox. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? But look. Amazing. Look, he's doing the A-OK on both hands. He's probably wearing Celine Dion's, line of New World Order and all these Bosch things for children. The clothing line for children. Brought into, manifest through pixie dust of shimmers just bashing into white and black. Who knew? 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 Well, apparently this kid does. Look at him. Right? This baby meditator is just, wow, out of this world. And people are like, yay. No, they're just mimicking whatever bash their parent is doing and bash and bash, 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 bash. Who knew that they're being led to the abyss relentlessly? Who knew? And they couldn't wait to just have you blasted, right? With the hand gestures and this and that and this and that. The gang sign. Yes. And he's just, oh, in bliss. He's even drooling a little bit. Oh, he's drooling, right? Just because he's so enlightened. Wow, he's getting binaural beated, smashing his brain because he's just so out of whack. Who knew? Why would he be so out of whack? Who knows? It's just disorder that, mental illness that, this, condition, blah, blah, smashed. It couldn't be your bash worship, but your bash ways that have bashed this child. No, 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 no. It's just things that are corrupt. It's just things that, the genes and this. It's just behavior is just genetic. Don't you know? So we just have to correct it and just bash it out of them before they even are born. What are you even saying? Exactly, playing God is some bash. All the while it is you that are transferring in generation. Who knew? Who knew? So you're bash little mini-me's that you worship, right? And you can't wait to treat them like an adult. Right? So that's why you have bash, parents, making their child address the parent as, Bob or Mary. Oh, we have names, child. Treat me as an equal. I am not above you. Treat me like an equal. Call me by my name. I'm not your dad. I'm not your mom. I'm just this person. And bash things like that. And then the child grows up being treated like an adult the whole way through. What does it even mean? Oh, you don't know. You just see it as equal and just boasting in how enlightened you are. You're like, whoa, yeah, children know. You just have to sit down at their eye level and just explain it to them relentlessly and blah, blah, blah in a low, calm, monotone voice. So you don't, pause and never point at them and never do this and never do that. And they can only go in timeout as, to parallel their age. No more, no more, no less. Just 1 minute per 1 year of age, 2 years, 2 minutes, and you guessed it. Go on relentlessly adding minutes to the waste of the life that you're bashing into your child because you're actually bashing the life out of them because who knew they're filled with life? just as you are, but no, you have said, nope, I'm filled with the life I have made for myself. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. So the child sees all that bash and hypocrisy, and who knew, turns into a rebel. But you say, oh yeah, teenage rebellion years are just normal. It's just the ways of man. As soon as those little hormones kick in, wow, they just go crazy. They go berserk. No. No. Because surely the body is so called developing, growing. Something is happening. It's shape shifting. Wow, who knew? For what purpose? Oh, so I could just fill and smash and rub my bean as long as I want for however I want and smash. Right? That's all it is to you. Rub your bean apparently just boast in your altruism. That it's just in name. All the while you defile and teach your children bashhood, how to become a bash just like you. And you say, what? No, I'm successful. I'm accomplished. I'm so respected. I'm a good man. Really? Wow. Amazing. You boasted. Wow. You couldn't wait to boast how good of a man you are. Wow. Really? Amazing. For surely there's nothing good about men in today's world where men are just like buddies to their children. Fathers just want to be they want to be a role model. Those who supposedly, their child looks up to and this and boast and how they're a good example. Really? Of what? How to carve out a life for yourself in the ways of the world and have the past, false love turn on you on a dime and yes, all that. Oh, amazing. Well, who knew you're creating just another little version of you? But you say, yeah, that's true, but by your efforts, you can find happiness. Wow. Through all the bash, don't worry, kid. You can still work your ass off and hope for the best. And hopefully, you'll just find that girl that you have a crush on or whatever, bash. Hopefully she'll even know who you are and tomorrow. Because who knew that the wedge between children and life and the true promise and the way is relentlessly bashed out of them, relentlessly day in, day out, and you name it, it has swarm ways of how to do it. And all pushed by you. Who knew? All pushed by you because you somehow think is so enlightened way of just bashing your children. Oh, they showed cognitive ability to do this and that. Wow, who knew that you just marvel in how children manipulate and now worship just like to better their skill at some bash thing that just bashes you in amazement of how a little person could do these things. Wow, it surprises you. It surprises you that your relentless worship and your relentless rituals of treating children like adults would just bring a generation of children who are doing adult things. And whoa, it's just so amazing how this little child is doing what adults do in their bashhood. Whoa, what a shame. And you call that genius. They're genius. We're just pretty brilliant amounts of geniuses. No. Now there's little witches, little sorcerers who knew worshippers of the light, now agile in the ways of their bash parents. Who knew? All misled. Who knew? But no, you see it as enlightenment. Somehow they can sit down for hours and meditate with mommy and daddy. And he even asked for it himself. Wow. The children have truly been infiltrated fully and now are openly defiled in front of you by your hand. And just because you say the children ask for it and they're doing it on their own, somehow you wash your hands from the guilt, the blatant guilt that the living flesh holds in bringing that forth. And then you're surprised and shocked, right? When things like pedophilia and like diddlers and blah, blah, blah is coming to the forefront harder and faster than you're even going to be able to recover from. Where you think, oh, yeah, all this stuff is just, this and that. Of course it's wrong and this. Why would anyone ever mess with, little kids like this? But who knew that you're just bash? You're immoral. So in your virtue of boasting how that's wrong, who knew that you're actually immoral? Your relative bashhood just has left you spun and just wobbling. You have no clue. So you may stand in virtuous boast, right? And say, yeah, that's wrong. But who knew that the world around you is shape shifting before your eyes and shape shifting you into the abyss? All the while, of course, you go along with it because it's what you call life. The bash counterfeit image that you live in and call it life and your work and your ambitions and your career and bash, all that's bash and identity. Who knew that's the carrot dangled in front of you and you're a mule relentlessly thinking it's gonna come forward if you would just walk further a little bit forward. But no, it's on a stick being dangled in front of you. You'll never get it. Who knew? False promise. So you're bashing your children, all the while thinking you're enlightening them into the next bash future somehow. But who knew what your idea, your image of what the future is has been mapped for you through the ways of the world. Wow, who knew? No. It couldn't be. No. It couldn't be. Just as these children are relentlessly being bashed by some book, but somehow it's so enlightenment because reading is power and ability to just sit down and worship some person speaking to you. What is going on? For surely all these children aren't this person's children. So who's taking care of our children? Who is showing them, right? What are they being exposed to? Knowledge, of course, dummy. You'll say, the essentials, STEM. We're creating the next STEM lineage right here, okay? So shut up, right? You'll boast and say, of course, these are the future by just bashing them with all the little squiggly Harry Potter of knowing. And then bash them with Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and bash. Oh, it's so amazing. Give them a little Dawn of the Dead and all the worship of the living dead and all this bash. Let them have that too. And let them have all the bash sitcoms and bash things that mean nothing and somehow just giving you some false laughter. Some false sense of comedic, humorous relief from the bashhood you're just relentlessly sodomized with. Who knew? But no, you call that just entertainment. No, entrainment. Entrainment. Who knew? But you call entrainment, somehow it's entrainment of the cosmic consciousness. We're being entrained in the cosmic consciousness, so just go along with it, guys. Just go and worship the light even more. Stare into the sun relentlessly and just hope for the best. Yes. Smashed. For who knew the Creator, hath created light, spoken into being. Oh, wow. But That's it to you. You worship the light. That's it. Wow. It murmurs you and it bedazzles you in its shape-shifting ways of apparition of what it is that you think you're seeing. Wow. And in your past self-awareness doubt, of course, you're going to boast and worship it because that's what you worship. You hide in it so that you exclude the Creator from yourself. You hide in what you see and give it names and shapeshift with it and boast of how you're making it better relentlessly in some circle that you're not even facing each other somehow. But you're worshiping some bash camera, some the bash artificial eye that's looking down on you and saying, yes. Look at the little children of the future in a circle singing, we are the world, we are the nation, somehow pooping into the oceans relentlessly, and then crying about it because of all the plastic that you're consuming that blew yourself into smithereens. And this guy knows it. He knows he blew himself into smithereens into her, and now she's defiled. Look, she's just sad and upset children. That's what it's like to have children. Just relentlessly unfulfilled. It's exhausting, and oh, what trauma, and you cry. Whoa, you just can't wait. You just, oh, to be single again, and all this bash and bash. Exactly, you resent your life. But who knew it's all because you're bash living in the counterfeit. And that's why you're in contradiction, relentless contradiction. But no, you just say, oh, my contradiction is just my childhood trauma and how my parents abused me. Aww. Wow, you don't think all children are abused? Wow, but you say, no, I actually got anally sodomized, you pass, you can't say your abuse is more than mine because I actually suffered. What about the child will say, I got smashed in the face relentlessly with beer bottles and this, how dare you say I didn't suffer, right? Or the bash other kid that's like, no, my parents just were never there, just always fought and I never tried to. I had to learn how to feed myself, right? Oh no, that's just mild. So you have created some bash gradient, right? Of apparent empathy or compassion, right? For the severities of supposed abuse that now you have categorized, right? In your bash mind. And somehow social services is in charge of it all, and they decide, right, what's abuse and what's not, how severe and this and no. What a shame. Who knew abuse is abuse? Who knew theft is theft? So why are we thieving the life out of our children and just banding them to just go along as we did? Why are we doing that? Exactly, because we ourselves are the bashhood that's carrying it out. Who knew? But then you cry and you say, oh no, we are changing the world degree by degree, and NGO after NGO, and relentless organizations after the other. And bash conferences after bash conferences, and this, and summits, and nothing. Just further bashing you with some bash mirror and posting you and how you're the future and how you're the change. Wow. But no, you just worship your mini-me and oh, they're so cute. And you swear to them or you swear around them and you're like, oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, oh, what? It's just a word. Come on, and sometimes I get angry and I need words to just cuss out and just botch and file relentlessly. And you're like, yeah, what's wrong with that? My kid will learn all that anger, no problem, and just learn how to interface with it by saying words that just somehow mean nothing, but at the same time, that's how they go out and boast anger. Whoa, who knew? Even though it might be temporary anger, they just know how to harness it better. They say a bad word or just a word than smashing somebody in the face, right? Better that. Wow. Void wisdom. Wow. Wow. Void. Who knew? Because you're in a void state. Who knew? By your own choice and by your own volition, because it gives you power to deny God. to deny the one true loving creator, right? Who had created life, who knew the true promise, life everlasting. But no, instead it's just the happy faces and sometimes sad faces of all the relentless abuse of the ways of man, all because of his falling away in boast of creating some bash kingdom based on logic and reason, but whatever bash you want to say. Oh, science, oh, the cosmology, this, that, the cosmos, we are but stardust, and all this bash, right? And all this bash that you love and boast about. But exactly, you believe dust to dust, so who knew that that is the worship that brings forth the further sufferings, right, of the world? And look, she knows it, just devastated. They're all just devastated. Here's how kids ruined my life. They relentlessly ruined your party nights out, getting smashed. Exactly. Everybody has accepted bashhood, but they'll defend it to the death, just like alcohol. You because truly, who truly will sit down and admit how stupid their worship of alcohol sounds like? I love to go get smashed and get just forget things. I love, having hangovers relentlessly because I make one heck of a hangover soup or drink or whatever bash. See, or I love how it just relentlessly disconnects me from myself and just goes into the split ways that I engage in under the influence and bash, right? Or I love how just it gives me some courage and I'm able to step outside my shell of a man that this and exactly. Escapism. But somehow you say, I love it. I love the taste. No, you don't. I love how the aroma. No, you don't. You boast in that, all to subdue you in some murmur that then the flesh has to deal with. Or you're constant in that state, which then supposedly society labels you an alcoholic. And then, of course, you live the consequences of whatever that means for you, or bash, or according to all the relentless loopholes that then, society makes you go through. Or even your family, because they believe the ways of the world, so of course they react to it the same way. And they're all just bash, pushing each other around, sending them to this little box where they spend a little time, come out, do this all, shuffle around, paper here, paper there. All of a sudden you're good, and then go back to the other paper and the other little box where you just go day in, day out, and just put more paper and just coin. And all of a sudden it's, wow, oh, I like drinking more. So they just go bash and just mash. So it's the same, right? So it's almost like, I know it's not good for me, but it's great. So in the same way, their bash, they see what their children have become this thing that apparently is in the way, right? In the way of what? Their relentless self-medication of their void life that they are by choice. So children are in their way because now they cannot go fulfill what they were in supposed journey of, right? In their bash self identity, bash, and this one in his own bash. Now they hate each other. Bah, you ruined my life. This, the other, but somehow they must compromise for the children because, like Dr. Phil says, better fix it or better come from a broken home than be in one, right? So you better decide quick to get divorced, right? And of course they get divorced. And their mommy sees daddy some weekends and then they go see your papa. Smashed. Void. Whoa, no notion of what one flesh means. Nothing. Becoming one union and through what? The refuge of truth in the way of obedience of the ways of the world. So you say. You're one with the enlightened third eye. No. For you deny the way. The way. Who knew? The way that's relentlessly smashing you day in, day out, but you have denied it. And instead, you bash yourself into going out and getting smashed in the ways of the world. Wow, who knew? And this is the eye of just disappointment, just debauched, defiled. And of course, she's going to boast in her self wisdom and how to overcome this. But no, the child sees her hypocrisy and her false, void ways. And the child will learn that false love and the false love that the parents have for each other and the conditional love that they dish out left, right, and center. Because who knew the children would would be the receivers of the anger that these people have. And of course, anger, right? Just boasting in anger, resentment. But somehow you just think, whoa, everybody's just a regular ass person and they're all just doing good. No, they're bashed, traumatized, emotional, just void, vessels. But you call them, oh, the future. No, we have just defiled our children beyond recognition, where they surprise us when they do the darndest things. Why? No. Treating them like little adults, little versions of you, of your bashwood. Oh, and it's so cute when when my little 5-year-old wants to be like the stripper. Oh, I'll get her. I'll get her a pole and teach her how to dance. Yeah, because it's all about moving. Just move your body and boast in your sexuality, little kid. Yay! Just boast, boast, boast. It's your body. Better to start young. Better start young. Use your bodies while it still work. Right? Some bosh notion. Just keep using your bodies, you little children. Start as young as you can because you're gonna get old somehow, and it's just you better start the fun and the pleasure. So just do it now. Doesn't matter how old you are, little one. Just do it now. Filleth yourself with the pleasures. Yay! Friction. Oh, and if adult does it to you, oh, they're just teaching you. They're just teaching you and just amazing because now you can go out and do it yourself. Wow, what a shame. The most desolate of wisdom, the most desolate of rituals. But who knew? You're all doing it. And you're saying, no, I'm not. I love my children, this and that. Wow, of course you do. Of course you couldn't wait to boast in your false love. Wow. And you revel in your hate. You just love your hate. Because what you won't do is admit that you were wrong and recognize the folly in your ways. But no, you deny God instead of denying your immorality and rejecting the ways of the world. Deny yourself in the flesh, in the sense, wow, who knew? You can recognize what it is that you're enduring. For it's not some bash political story, it's not some bash political history in the sense of, wow, what you read in textbooks. What are you doing? What are you enduring? What are you living? You have no idea. You call it Monday. Today's Monday, okay? And this and that. You live in some bash place and time that you have no idea. What is it? Place and time. Time and place. Place and time. Time and place. Place and time. What does that even mean? You have no idea. Somehow it's, oh, the time zones. It's just time zones, and we're here. So somehow it's today, this of year 2019. That's what it is. Wow! What a shame. Lost. And who knew? That's another, ex- you know, explicit example of how you're splitteth, you're defiled, you're immoral, but you boast in your virtuous logic and reason and blah, blah, blah intellect. Wow. Wow. See, making little versions of you, and oh, they're just so smart. And so that's how you justify abusing children. Because, oh, she said she. What? I didn't know she was 3 years old. She told me she was 18. What? 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 Nobody told me. What is going on? Right? Why are we just constantly going for our children? Selling our children away? Why? Why? Oh no, we're not selling them. We're promoting. We're just trying to foster innovation, inspiration for the future, and we must set the example for them. Wow, no, the only example you set up for them is how to accept more the abuse. And you will give them the self-help bash books of how you blast now and sit down and swim with baby Buddha and stretch and huff and puff and do all sorts of wacky things in OCD. But you call that somehow enlightening. That's how I deal with it, so leave me alone, do as I wilt. Some bash notion of respect, some bash notion of love of the world, some bash notion of we are one, some bash notion of, humanity, some bash notion of, oh, we're all in it together. What? What are we in? You have no idea. You'll say, well, of course we're in the globe, right? We're in the globe. We're just spinning around space, man. Wow. I'm just gonna blast through these. What is this? Wisdom. Who knew? Shining as stars. Do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure children of God, without fault in a crooked and perverse generation, in which you shine as lights in the world. Right? Not worshiping light. You are bright. Oh no, there's no wisdom in this. No, no, no. As you hold forth the word of life, in order that I may boast on the day of Christ that I did not run or labor in vain. Whoa. People say, no, 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 none of that it means anything. It's just allegoric, it's just metamorphosis, metaphors. The relentless metamorphosizing metaphor. You just gotta go and alchemize and just blast and sit with baby Buddha and just huff and puff and stretch, and then you just take it, and then the other esotericism and the myths, they're all the same. No. The futility of pleasure, I said of laughter, it is folly. And of pleasure, what does it accomplish? My mind, all the while guiding me in wisdom, with wisdom, sought to cheer my body with wine and embrace folly until I could see what was worthwhile for men to do under heaven during the few days of their lives. I enlarged my works. I built myself houses and planted vineyards. I made myself gardens and parks and planted in them all kinds of fruit trees. I built reservoirs to water my groves of flourishing trees. I acquired manservants and manservant and maidservants, and servants were born in my house. I also owned more herd and flock than anyone in Jerusalem before me. And I accumulated myself a silver and gold and the treasures of kings and provinces. I gathered to myself male and female singers and the delights of the sons of men, many concubines. Wow. So I became great and surpassed all in Jerusalem who had preceded me, and my wisdom remained with me. Anything my eyes desired, I did not deny myself. I refused my heart no pleasure, for my heart took delight in all my work, and this was the reward for all my labor. Yet when I considered all the works that my hand had accomplished and what I had toiled to achieve, I found everything to be futile, a pursuit of the wind. There was nothing to be gained under the sun. Who knew that this could sum up all of you out there? But you were sold that this, that coming to this conclusion, this resolve, is never ending, because you call it the pursuit of happiness. Okay, so this in itself is never ending, and then you die. But who knew that in consideration of those works, the resolve is that it's futile, a pursuit of the wind, for there is nothing to be gained under the sun. No, exactly. What can you gain from the rewards of the world? Pleasure and folly. Who knew? And all these things, right? That for some you would be, whoa, he's the ultimate permaculturist, and then he enjoys himself with many concubines. What's wrong with that? Who knew it leaves you unfulfilled, void? Exactly. Who knew? All because of the denial, right? The refusing your heart in no way, right? In the sense of what did it say here? It was amazing. Wow. His wisdom and my wisdom remained with me. Right? He doesn't say the Father's wisdom. He says my wisdom. Amazing. What is this? You show loving devotion to thousands, but lay the sins of the fathers into the laps of their children after them. O great and mighty God, whose name is the Lord of hosts, the one great counsel and the mighty indeed, whose eyes are on all the ways of the sons of men, to reward each one according to his ways and the fruit of his deeds. The fruit, not the deeds, the fruit. Who knew? You perform signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, and you do so to this very day, both in Israel and among all mankind. And you have made a name for yourself. Amazing. Amazing. Read it for yourself. I mean, amazing. You brought your people Israel out of Egypt with signs and wonders, with a strong hand and outstretched arm, and with great terror. You gave them this land you had sworn to give their forefathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. Fulfilleth his word. Who knew? Who knew? Truly, truly, I tell you, you will weep and wail while the world rejoices. You will grieve, but your grief will turn to joy. A woman has pain in childbirth because her time has come. But when she brings forth the child, she forgets her anguish because of her joy that a child has been born into the world. Who knew that women are the mothers of life on earth? Who knew? Wow. Amazing. So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. Who knew? Wow. But no, 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 this is all just bash, and there's no wisdom in this. No. For my wisdom is that which I just relentlessly get concubines. Yes, that's better. So much better. Friction, 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 post, nothing. Wow, who knew? The stiff necked will be destroyed. When the wicked thrive, rebellion increases. Who knew? Who knew? Because who knew that the defier is Satan? Defiance, the lie. The rebel, right? So, of course, when rebellion, right? Defiance, right? Peaks, it means that wicked is thriving. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? But no, you will say, no, no, it's just the condition of man. Man has always been like that, blah, 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 blah. It's the natural philosophy, this, da, 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 da. Freud, this, Plato, Plato. All the philosophers will throw at you. They'll smash you with them. They couldn't wait. God disciplines his sons. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. Right? You say, what? What? Shedding your blood? Right? Because what is life? Shedding your blood. Are you your blood, or what is it that is within you? The Holy Spirit? What are you see? What are you shedding your blood? Right? Resisted to the point of shedding your blood. And you have forgotten the exhortation that addresses you as sons. My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, or lose heart when he rebukes you. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastises every son he receives. Right? You're like, oh, what bigotry! Oh, this, that, the other, bosh, bosh, bosh. Exactly, because you're wicked. You're the rebel. Of course, you will just deny any authority because you deny God as the only creator. The only authority in his wisdom is creation. Wow, who knew? No, 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 no. Right? So instead of you just bash, you say, no, it's the man. He's holding you down. It's the man, right? And they can't wait to just bash and say, "Whoa, that's bigotry, oppression, 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 oppression." Wow. Yeah, because all the while you treat your children like little adults. So you say, "Why would you ever correct your child? It's wrong." Right, it is wrong because you correct them in the ways of your bashhood. So who knew you're just bashing with bash? Wow. For that's truly what you worship, but you deny it. For the company of the godless will be barren, and fire will consume the tents of bribery. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. Their womb prepares deceit. So, exactly what are we birthing? And you say, well, is birthing is children, or what are we talking about here? Oh. You conceive to manipulate and you birth evil. Who knew? And you nurture it. Wow, who knew? You portray it as yourself. You embody it. Relentlessly hacking your life, hacking at that lifeline, the true promise. Who knew? This okay, so a rich man, right, whose manager was accused of waging, so just being bashed, so he lost his job, right? What is it that I hear about you? Turn in an account of your management, for you cannot be manager any longer. The manager said to himself, what shall I do? Now that my master has taken away my possessions, I am too weak to dig and too ashamed to beg. I know what I will do, so that after my removal from management, people will welcome me into their homes. And he called each one of his master's debtors. How much do you owe, my master? He asked the first. 100 measures of olive oil, he answered. Take your bill, said the manager. Sit down quickly and write 50. So that he owed only 50, so somehow he kept what? The other 50? Or he only bought half of what he said he was going to buy. Well, what is going on? Then he asked another, and how much do I owe you? How much do you owe? 100 measures of wheat, he replied. Take your bill and write 80. So he's just cutting deals left and right. Is that it? The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the sons of this age are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the sons of light. So they're more shrewd than the sons of light because the sons of light are shrewd. So they're even more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the sons of light dealing with them. Wow. I tell you, use worldly wealth to make friends for yourselves, so that when it is gone, they will welcome you into eternal dwellings. Right? You're investing into some bosh future, safety net. Is that it? Whoever is faithful with very little will also be faithful with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. If then you have not been faithful with worldly wealth, who will entrust you with true riches? And if you have not been faithful with the belongings of another, who will give you belongings of your own? No servant can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. But who knew you do worship, money and some other bash notion of, oh, spiritual. I'm spiritual. I believe in das. I believe in meditation. I believe in the higher selves. I believe in eternal consciousness. I believe in we're just bash energy and consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Oh, smashed. And of course, who knew that a split mother, a split father, only creates split versions of themselves. You know, they have zero wisdom to offer the living, for it's truly just the worship of your own death, the worship of death. They worship their inevitable death, and then how much they're gonna boast in the moment, in the power of now. Oh, I'll read that because wow, amazing. Do not weep for the dead kings. Do not mourn his loss. Weep bitterly for the one who is exiled, for he will never return to see his native land. Oh, amazing. Love, but when the perfect comes, the partial passes away. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I set aside childish ways. Now we see but a dim reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see the face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a ringing gong or clanging cymbal. Wow, who knew? But no, you relentlessly gong right before meditation and just worship the shamans who just bash the little cymbals. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and I have absolute faith so as to move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all possesses to the poor and exalt the surrender of my life, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no account of wrongs. Love takes no pleasure in evil, but rejoices in truth. It bears all things. Exactly, it bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be restrained. Where there is knowledge, it will be dismissed. Wow. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial passes away. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I set aside childish ways. Now we see but a dim reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Wow. Now I know in part. then I shall know fully, even I as I'm fully known. Wow. Wow, exactly. Humbling yourself. Humble yourself. Wow. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Wow. But no, 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 no. I'm trying to do my best for my child. I'm just trying, right? But no, right? And any of this to you is just, oh, uh, who knew that this is the unconditional love of the Father? Who knew? And that you are the relentless empath in a emotive state because you believe yourself to be void, that there's no such thing as the unconditional love of the Creator. Wow. Wow. No wonder is everyone's so frantic with zero peace, all while just chasing some pursuit of happiness. But when Jesus saw this, he was indignant and told them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." Exactly, to the children. Truly I tell you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. Exactly, because you reject it. So if you do not receive it, accept it like a child, then you will never enter it. Who knew? And he took the children in his arms, placed his hands on them, and blessed them. Amen. Because we are the relentless defiler. We're doing it to ourselves. So we must forgive those who brought that abuse forth, namely our parents. All in their, of course, attempt to do their best. We're, because we cannot fix what has been done, okay? It's been done. So what do you see and what are you worshiping? What are you living? What are you living? What are you worshiping? What are you living? This is the message you have heard from the beginning. We should love one another. Do not be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and murdered his brother. He was a child of Satan. And why did he slay him? Because his own deeds were evil, while those of his brother were righteous. So do not surprise, brothers, if the world hates you. We know that we have passed from death to life because we love our brothers. The one who does not love remains in death. Exactly. Love your enemy. Rebuke the lie. And who knew that in rebuking the lie, everyone's implicit, because you must recognize that. And those who have the ears to listen will. And everyone else can just continue and just defile and point fingers and blame this for the sufferings of the world, and somehow they're the problem, and wow, they're just sending us back, relentless years because we just want to move forward and they don't, and this and that. Just relentless struggle of just wedging yourself against each other and killing each other. Wow, what a shame. Everyone who hates his brother is a murderer, and you know that eternal life does not reside in a murderer. Who knew? By this we know what love is. Jesus laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. our brothers in Christ. For who will call themselves your brother? No, the world will hate you. They will not call you their brother. So who are your brothers then? Well, you forgive your enemy, but who are your brothers? You forgive your enemy and love your enemy, but what is it? Give our lives for our brothers. Who are our brothers and sisters? Oh, it's just the world. Hmm. Truly, you say that because you're in the ways of the world and you believe in the false love of the world. But who knew that in recognition of our Creator, you there is no such thing as a supposed Gaia one world love and this and sing hold hands and forever live together in some bash false peace. No, that is a lie. For there is no peace in the wicked ways of the world that you push. Wow. Little children, let us love not in word and speech, but in action and truth. Exactly. So you relentlessly tell your child, I love you, baby. I just know I'm trying my best, right? And I love you, right? But in your wisdom and truth, right? The wisdom that you have to offer, which is the truth, the refuge of truth, right? That's what you have to offer. And in that being the role model, right? The ritual in and out, day in, day out ritual for you're the beacon. You're the beacon for your child, but no, you you reject it. And by this we will know that we belong to the truth. Otherwise, you belong to the lie, and then you believe you just see yourself as part of the ways of the world. And will assure our hearts in His presence. If our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. Beloved, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence before God, and we will receive from Him whatever we ask, because we keep His commandments and do what is pleasing in His sight, because we are in His image. Who knew? And this is His commandment, that we should believe in His name of His Son, Jesus Christ, and we should love one another, just as He commanded us. Whoever keeps His commandments remains in God, and God in him. And by this we know that He remains in us, by the Spirit He has given us. Amazing. Because this is what truly we have created. The child going, "Oh, what have you done?" Right? Somehow, became like a mirror that now we will become face to face. Now it's this. This is a counterfeit. This is the bash, apparent, future and promise we have. This, what we have done. But somehow it's just funny to and entertainment because now little kids are just like adults and they do the action movies and all horrors and just relentless wickedness, including just pleasuring old people. But somehow that makes you feel comfortable because you know it's wrong. You know that what we have done is wrong, but you just justify it and blame others. Wow. So what are you living and what are you worshiping? And inevitably, what is it that is going on? What is the resolve? What is the true promise? What is the peace? What peace have you if just fret and anxiety? With the fleeting, momentarily sense of calmness when you meditate or you stretch and huff and puff. For truly, the refuge of truth brings peace in accepting the Father, returning home, basking in the unconditional love that the Father just relentlessly gives. Toward that foggy image, it's inevitable. The resolve is face to face. But we have created a faceless way of just bashing our void vessel, right? Through screens, that. It's just exactly faceless. We become the faceless. All boasters of the relentless multi-diversity of images that we want to boast and say that we accept because we're so tolerant, we're so open-minded, we're so progressive, we're so non-this, we're so for that, we're pro this and non-that, and wow. Split. But surely you make your choice, and every man walks his walk. But who knew that entails resolve of what you will never answer because you have just stayed in that all pleasure of the world and then die. Because you will never, it's the hardest. Wow, who knew? Your pride is too, it has consumed you. You laugh at things as saying, wow, humble yourself. You say, well, yeah, I humble myself. I know I'm nothing. I know I'm nothing. I'm but a speck and a little blast of nothing, and there's other guys. That's how humble I am. Wow. We'll end it there.